fast-paced game. And Rivals 1 players who may not have the same breadth of time, longer than 10 years for both of those two, earlier two, but then Rivals 1 players are acutely familiar with all the quirks and differences that Rivals of Aether 1 had and are able to apply it to 2 along with its new, very flexible engines. So it's a bunch of players with a lot of adept experience at figuring out games like this, and the skill floor is going to rise to astronomical heights to match.
I can't say it any better. It was just like a pot of just so many different players with different skill sets and different understandings, and when they're able to clash with each other in such a fantastic game like Rivals 2, you get to see it all go through, and no crouch cancel on the dash attack. Does not lead to the huge follow-up as there, but we're already seeing the Arbar adaptation come into play as Searing Arrow already at 107 and in a danger zone.
Picks up with the special getup. Searing Arrow starting to understand a few of the differences that Arbar plays at in comparison to Lone, but not all of them, as the forward tilt into Nair comes in. The tether Nair looking as good as before, and now you gotta chase down Maypul, and oh boy, is that a task.
Yeah, it's not a fun one either. Dashing left and right, and literally weaseling your way out of all these interactions. And I love the little fair attempt. You are a little bit on the lead, so why not go for more? But an up tilt does not connect, so it doesn't lead to a follow-up. And Searing Arrow once again trying to find something, but Arbar, I just love this adaptation, just saying like, hey, I'm just gonna take a huge step backwards and really force you to catch me. As you mentioned earlier, that's not a task anyone wants to do.
Yeah, it kind of comes down to how, not that it comes down to, it opens up different avenues of how to counterplay something like this, as Searing Arrow is currently playing against a Maypul style that is hyper aggressive, someone that wants to come at him from the horizontal, and a 4-strong like that is pretty good at doing so. Looking for another one, down tilt, all coverage all the time, but sweet spotting the ledge is Arbar. A style like Arbar's though might be a little bit more vulnerable to like tipper dash attack confirms or tipper jab Dacus, stuff like that. A little bit more up strong mixed in or confirms into up strong. Might be in the cards here to take some early stocks against a player that's a little bit less willing to push the envelope.
It's just gotta suck when you're pixels away from getting a confirm, pixels away from taking the stock, and this one's no different, preemptively waiting for it and DIs correctly, but the tether continues to put the pressure on as Searing Arrow is just struggling to finish this stock off. 171 Maypul, not dying just yet and pulling up a hell of a fight is not a good situation to be in.
Oh, can't be whiffing giant forward strong swings like that. At this point, like, forward tilt is your best friend. Tipper up tilt closes down stocks. You need to be much more measured because you do not have any margin for error at this point, if at all. In this game, rather. Still plenty of games in the set to play, but starting off on the right foot here is Arbar without any question.
Can't seem to do anything wrong, and this time was ready, but instead it's going to be the trade. So thank goodness for Searing Arrow staying alive, but for how long? Borrowed time, and the debt collector's here. Collects that stock, and Arbar, a huge lead, and Searing Arrow needs to find some way to stop the bleeding, because right now, it's looking real bad.
204. Yeesh. Just arthritis, this is absolute inability to close down a stock in any amount of consistent fashion. You're legitimately hunting for a forward tilt, an up tilt,
Yippee!
Sure. Tipper down air.
Oh, I love Arbar. It's just like, oh, what if another dash tech? Well, I'm dead. Fine, I deserve it,
Hey, but if you hit it, that's dash tech fair. That's a chance to end the game.
And gets the marker. Thankfully, no Marth killer in this game to push you off.
Yeah.
So, Clairen would be so screwed. that was the case, but it ain't. In case in point, it seems to be that Arbar is just continuing to let this lead grow bigger and bigger, wanting to finish it off, and now all of a sudden, you're one hit away from dying, and what a great way to send that one off. Arbar dominating game number 1.
Yeah, very, very confident game 1. Commitment to the game plan, understanding of the ways to poke holes in Clairen's offense. As mentioned earlier, Clairen really goes toe-to-toe on the ground so good against Maypul. Like down tilt and up tilt and jab are real problems for Maypul if she's just trying to commit to the consistent, like, usual type of back and forth, run around, poke with forward tilt, mix in with dash attack and dash grab type stuff. But as soon as you start mixing in the different CC timings and different nair approaches and tossing in plants and marks and all of that in between, suddenly once Clairen gets off the spot, Maypul can have a real good time.
Yeah. And Arbar seems to be having a real good one. If that first game was to say anything, jeez! Both of them sprinting!
Like, please leave me alone. And Maypul, no.
Oh my god. Sometimes you're the predator, and sometimes you're the prey. And it seems like Searing Arrow has the short stick at the end of the day. My goodness. Just could not escape. And honestly, that run chase down by Arbar, that just oozes confidence. And Searing Arrow's gonna find some way to try to stop it, because at the beginning it looked great. Got a sequence, but now Arbar's just sitting back saying, you can platforms all you want. I got the stage control. You gotta come to me.
Got the stage control, got the lead, got the way to apply pressure from mid to full screen and just tossing a couple marks. Like, yeah, like there's no way for Clairen to reliably play a mid-range if Maypul doesn't want her to on this stage. You have to just make an overextension or make an overshoot and see what happens. And Clairen can get a lot of value off of that and that alone. But that requires you to hit Maypul, and that's not always easy.
Yeah, it's like all of it, and then there's a tiny star, an asterisk, that says like you gotta hit that against Maypul, and then you're like, oh well, that's not good. And at this point, Arbar is just making it seem like an almost impossible task. A Searing Arrow is just forced to kind of sit back, but I'm loving this shift. You know, Arbar usually kind of being the aggressor here in these situations, but in such a big stage like this one, just linger back, wait for the mistake to be made. Great usage of the Nair, but didn't send off as far as you would want. So instead, you're gonna survive out here in a jab lock, trying to get the tech in, but this time, Searing Arrow doesn't fall for it. But how many times Searing Arrow's been holding shield kind of speaks about how aggressive and how well placed the offense on Arbar's end is. Finally, the finisher comes in.
Yeah, I could almost see this as like, because Arbar is doing so many like hit and run type actions, like, oh, I'm nairing, but I'm nairing past you, and I just clip your shield. Yeah, you just grab ledge here. Because there's so much utilization of the space from Arbar, like, it makes these shields that, even if they do block something, super low impact for Searing Arrow. You need to make something happen, and I'm gonna be real, Wolf, the longer this game goes, the more sure I feel that making something happen on Fire Capital against Maypul as Clairen is just not in the cards.
It's just an unfortunate pull at this one. But you gotta play what's in your hand. A nice little spot dodge. Finally, an advantage that comes in, but it just ends so abruptly, and you need so much more, especially from how well Arbar has been playing. Utilizing the full extent of the stage and the confidence just to run up, grab, knowing that Searing Arrow's been forced a lot on the defensive end. No crouch cancel on the dash attack, and sneaking in the ledge hog, consistently doing it once again, keeping Searing Arrow on their toes. But Arbar, he's been doing such a fantastic job throughout this entire set. It's really hard to see some way that Searing Arrow can make this one back. But damn, Ubel, it just feels like it's a slow death.
Yeah, this counter pick was not it. Opportunities abound. I mean, again, Clairen can, in a lot of matchups, that can be a problem in neutral for one reason or another. I always kind of consider this in like the Forsburn-Clairen matchup, right? Because like Clairen has good range, but Forsburn has comparable range, so you're able to like play a little bit of game of chicken in the range that both, or in the areas that both players want to play in. But Clairen's benefit is the fact that if she gets a grab or a tipper, Forsburn just gets taken for a ride for 80 to 100% because of various utility and various attributes on both sides. That is still in play with Maypul.
Uh-oh.
But Maypul is just so much harder to hit that it becomes a different neutral altogether, especially since Maypul is very comfortable playing at all ranges. Oh, very, very close to getting ledge hogged there, though. That would have been a huge momentum swing for Arbar, who, hey, on this very stage in Winners Finals, granted against Lone, different Maypul, was able to get a stock lead and turn it into a momentum that won him the set. So don't count anybody out. Long sets can change at the drop of a hat, but Arbar is looking fantastic right now.
Yeah, long sets can do that, but thankfully for Searing Arrow is on the winner's side, earned that ticket by winning the first set. So you're able to sacrifice one, but these dash back and left games, it seems that Arbar is able to get way more value out of it, whether it's by guessing right with the confidence, where Searing Arrow, unfortunately, just doing the wrong action at the wrong time. That's what seems to be the task at hand. I love the reaction, but look at this. Jeez, Arbar unafraid with the chase down. But Searing Arrow is the one getting rewarded with the hit until now. A nice little tick throw in that aspect. A little bit mix up on the advantage state and the combo game and the hard read on the rollout. Something that we've been seeing quite a lot. Air dodge burn to barely make it back, but a missed hit, so Searing Arrow's still alive.
Oh, and good DI on the Nair there. A little bit too low, I think, for Nair to, even with bad DI, to close down this stock, but still had the right mix-up. Started to lose a ton of momentum, though. A huge up air. Not going for the tether, though. Just get back to stage. Priority 1, survive the next interaction. Then priority 2 is to make sure you can find the stock. And forward tilt into Nair. That's that inevitability I was talking about whenever Maypul has been on the screen. 160, 150, 200, doesn't matter. Forward tilt into tether Nair is going to be there for you.
Ouch. And the inability to snap onto ledge is also quite the trend we've seen. This time was able to get the timing down. And now it's Searing Arrow unafraid moving forward. Tether is available and the uppercut lands for quite a nice bit of damage and the tether is still available. So Arbar able to escape the wrath of Searing Arrow, but the down tilts are landing great anti-air by using the up tilt. And the second one afterwards saying, like, you may have air dodged, but you still got the frames to try to recover out, but the lingering hitbox of up air able to find a nice hit. And speaking of that, the down air lands, but honestly, I don't think Searing Arrow was expecting it to land.
Missing confirms is never something you can see. Is that down air enough? No, you get out of hit stun in time. And the tether, no mistiming it, just enough of a delay. It looked like Searing Arrow released it at a time for up special, but does not matter. You pick it up with another forward strong, finds the tipper, gets a lead for the first time in the set here, slowly but surely starting to figure out ways to poke holes into Arbar's defensive neutral, and especially get around some of those extra offensive mix-ups.
I'm loving the down airs on the crouch cancels as well, calling it out completely. And now the advantage state continues to just get better, but hold up. The fair does spike down, and so does the forward tilt. It lands its mark, has to recover on stage, but Searing Arrow escapes from it, able to recover back on, and the up tilt, predicting where it's gonna be, and the dash check has a quick little 1-2, and now this time, Searing Arrow knows that Arbar is just trying to get away and use that shield a lot more. A great grab, a second one to follow up, as Searing Arrow is looking to make a statement and saying that I'm still not out of this set, trying to finish the job with these tippers that are landing and even a strong attack in a little awkward direction. But Arbar in a bad position.
Yeah, this is some nice mix-ups here too from Arbar, from Searing Arrow rather. Finds the forward tilt. There, okay. There's a way to end that stock. 128%, far from out of it. Flat drop Nair. Shielding on a platform is a position of strength. What a run for grab. Running out of resources. And that's, you know, ran out of resources.
Choked out. Finally a dub on the tried and true rock wall.
Don't waste my time.
Seems to be Searing Arrow's favorite stage. It worked out in the last winner set against the Maypul, and it worked on the second one against Arbar. But here's the problem. You're able to win it out, but now, make those stage strikes count, as Arbar has got a lot to work with.
You get to see it here. Yeah, okay, just keeping consistent Aramata and Hyperborean Harbor. So we're going to Merchant Port. Arizona sound off. And game number 4. Presumably, Arbar gets his counter pick twice in a row. Presumably, it might be 2 games on Merchant Port, which, hey, if you're Clairen, far from a problem if you have to play on Merchant Port as Clairen. You know, there's way worse stages to go on. It's just a matter of how much do you have against this change-up, apparently, that Arbar has on display. Trying for the double fair for the first time, I think, in the set. Missing another spiking fair twice. But already, Arbar trying to threaten stocks.
Yeah, and needs to do so. Being able to try to steal the momentum back and not let Searing Arrow go with that nice little dub on the rock wall. But it seems to be, all of a sudden, the hits are landing, able to, thankfully, get that crouch just in time to cancel out what could have been a launcher. So Arbar, once again, doing a fantastic job, but messed up. A little great stall on the recovery by Searing Arrow. Barely dodges out the forward strong as well. And the consistent jump callouts that Arbar is doing, it's not working out as Searing Arrow trying to make this comeback happen. It's the down strong that connects, but not the follow-up, Ooble.
That's tough. I think might have just done short hop double jump or just like full hop. Didn't quite space out the up air far enough and left him very open for a whiff punish that Arbar will take to the bank. That's some and more. 54% looking for the dash grab, but the runoff back air was nice from Searing Arrow. Forward tilt might just do it. It does just do it.
Oh, worked out. Maybe caught the dash backwards.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
Ooh, a nice snare. Here comes the advantage state. Unable to get the secondary follow-up. Was hoping for a jump fair. Maybe the jump input got eaten up. It don't matter as Arbar gets away with it, but still not untouched, however. And the advantage state continues to go on, but the Liftism able to sneak the marker in and as well as the hit. The second part of the up special, not expecting that one, so it's gonna strike down hard as Arbar continuing the advantage state once again, making sure that Searing Arrow can't get away, but the scramble situations, we'll see who can come out on top. Oh no!
Off the mark, little by little, opening, leaving himself open for a multitude of different little punishes. That Searing Arrow's trying to find little opportunities in, but Arbar's playing at that mid-screen forward tilt. What a check. But that forward tilt is unsafe. A little bit too close to the shield. Charges up for the forward strong. One more. Could be the lead here. Yeah, yes. No resources. Did a ledge drop double jump to try and apply some offense, but excellently spaced out by Searing Arrow to wait out the invulnerability and find the appropriate punish. 127. That rock wall game yet again adding some momentum, some wind to the sails, but running out of resources here, intercepting 148, 156, still surviving. Okay.
Not for long.
Yeah, well played. Lather, rinse, repeat. Those are the type of edge guards that are particularly good against Clairen against any character when you lose their jump, but against Clairen because her up B has so much reach and so much distance. Sometimes it's better just to play the lather, rinse, repeat type of game.
It seems to be the good part that Arbar had, and now all of a sudden Searing Arrow saying like, yeah, I got that lead and I got a huge dare. And you know, without the dark clouds brings thunder and lightning. And so far, it seems to be Searing Arrow that's trying to continue with that momentum, only taking 8%, 96. Maypul can die at these percents with the right setup. So Arbar's got to play a little bit careful. You can't go for those dash attack gambits again. They just aren't working, and they lead you to a free punish as a dash attack sneaks their way in. Here comes the down tilts, but thank goodness that Nair landed. But the 1-2 strong piece! Searing Arrow working on a reverse 3-0.
Steadily getting there, and little by little. And you know what? The dash attack gambits are not as there for Maypul and for Arbar in this game, in games 2 and 3, or 3 and 4 rather, thus far. Despite how fast it is, I mean, dash attack is on frame 9 and goes so far, but that's the benefit of mixing in Clairen's general range and safety of both grounded pokes and landing options like down air, and then you mix it in with some of Searing Arrow's own dash attack gambits. Like, those have been excellent as just little pace breakers that have gotten Arbar a little bit uncomfortable. It's not perfect though, because Arbar's starting off this game pretty strong, barely missing that forward air, and that gives an opportunity for Searing Arrow to chip on some damage.
Yeah. Gets rewarded, but the straight down air is such a ridiculously good move and horrible to get checked by, and didn't let go of the second part, so that will lead to a nice little lead. And that's real unfortunate for Searing Arrow, because now Arbor's just going to sit back, utilize the stage, and just keep running away and fishing for those hits. But if Searing Arrow can find those hits in and finish off the stock without taking too much, we're able to still make this happen. And so far, that seems to be the tempo that seems to be played at, but damn, unable to get the follow-up, but a missed tag Ubel. This is so scary for Arbar, just needs to find some way to escape.
Yeah, devastating amount of damage. The fact that you haven't been able to get a stock out of all of this, and those are the type of confirms where you need to be more confident in your up strong spacing, excuse me. Tipper dash attack, Tipper up strong is a guaranteed combo. You just gotta be confident in the spacing, and it can absolutely blow up stocks at mid-screen, or sometimes Clairen can fall into a bit of arthritis. Still, the back air at 150 solves the problem of a 145 stock.
Well, here comes in, but all of a sudden you're in for an ass whooping. And missing an opportunity, the uppercut does not land, but Searing Arrow opting to go for the stage control instead, lands the tipper, and as well as a second one. Whoa, a little bit of a scramble, and hell yeah, Searing Arrow is going to go ahead and take that with full effect. Another missed tech by Arbar leads into a really dangerous situation, and the damage stacked up so fast, Ubel, all of a sudden the percent lead just went into the favor of Searing Arrow, including the stock lead with a huge forward strong tipper that sends Arbar flying off to the left side.
And I said it at the start of game number 4, if the chosen counterpick for Arbar is Merchant Port, that is far from a bad thing as a Clairen player. Being able to consistently guaranteed tipper spacing up tilt on these side platforms is massive. Being able to have some space to roam, but not too much space, like, that's huge. Granted, well played by Arbar. Having space to roam is kind of his MO at this point, but the offense that Clairen has available is certainly on display here, and Searing Arrow is showing off a ton of different spacing traps that are beautiful, yet Arbar never far behind. Chaos versus control, small two-piece combos versus the long-standing vortex advantage state. Oh, an excellent moonwalk to try and get closer, couch canceling the forward tilt. Looking as heavy as possible on so many of these openings. Whoa, it has no resources, but can get to the top platform. Excellent mix-ups. You landed. Doesn't have a double jump. Can get to the top platform. Tippers! Gets by for free.
Actually able to escape, and the dash attack, not all the hits land, but this time it will. Mistext back, left and right, but there's no marker. Keep that in mind. As Searing Arrow misses the counter. It didn't work out, and thankfully the down air does connect. Here comes the combo sequence. A lot of tippers are landing. The plasma, it's striking left and right, and it's gotta burn. If you're Arbar, missing the second one, but this time the fair will connect. Another tipper lands, but still staying alive. Last stock, last hit. threatening the reset or able to get the W tech chase. No, it's gonna be the roll outwards as well. Afterwards in the tech situations back left and right. The forward tilt connects.
Oh man, a couple huge missed techs. A couple huge missed techs chases, excuse me. In between some very, very, very tense gameplay, and back and forth we go, trying to find the right position to just land a straight hit, missing confirms off of up throw and forward air and everything in between, but eventually Maypul's greatest strength is the inevitability that forward tilt tether nair will always be on the table, and it comes back yet again to get Arbar the reset. Well, let's bring it to a new 0-0 format. We're looking at some new counter picks and new opportunities on both sides, a new RPS even being won by Searing Arrow. You get the bans and you get rolling. We could see another game to Merchant Port or to Hodojo. The selection.
I wouldn't mind the Merchant Port. I feel like that Arbor's proficiency in Hodojo is something to avoid. Yeah,
it makes a lot of sense. I mean, you just played 2 games on it, and it's felt good, and yeah, as good as Hodojo can be for Clairen in certain matchups, against Maypul, you do truly want space to dash back, and Merchant Port gives you that. Hodojo just really doesn't.
It's a feast or famine. And with how well Arbor can play in the driver's seat, it's better to just have a secure option like this stage. So, Searing Arrow, once again, trying to make up for the unfortunate loss in that Game 5 as the bracket got reset. Both of them successfully sent down the losers. But it's like a best-of-3 set, both of them fighting to complete it out, and an up strong connects. Thankfully, will not die if you're Arbar, but a missed tech, that's something both these players gotta really avoid out there. These missed techs have been providing so much opportunity for the opposing player. You really have to be on top of it, but it's so difficult when there's so much to think about.
Trying to reestablish these spacings, commits everything to these forward strongs. When they connect, they're genius, but you lose so much momentum, and Arbar's been playing around the forward strong at ledge as exactly how you need to. Gotta change up your ledge trapping game if you're Searing Arrow, if you want to make sure that you're keeping pace with Arbar's punish game.
And honestly, with how long the set's going, it's a stamina game now. These rival sets are usually fast, but in this matchup that, CyberHex was able to point out earlier, they come to a crawl.
It's all about stage control, it's all about positioning, and stocks like that are few and far between, but when they land, they're devastating. Arbar with a huge lead now, completely in control of the game. And as you said, Wolf, like Arbar in the driver's seat is absolutely terrifying.
It's just a formula for a disaster if you're the opponent, and Searing Arrow is no exception to that one. Great tipper to finally close that stock out there. We're gonna see that clutch factor come into play, but Arbar in the lead. We'll see for how long, though. Finally, these grabs and follow-ups are landing. The consistency and control that you talked about earlier, Ugo, is finally coming into play. The chaos is not yet sunk in. Look at this suffocating advantage state that Zero Arrow had going on. But you gotta be careful. You can't get too high on that feeling, because all of a sudden, you get a sobering reminder of what Arbar can do to you.
Oh wow, Clairen's recovery is so good.
How did she I turned away, I thought she died. I was like, that was a perfect finisher line by me.
Had all the resources, jump, wall jump, and the distance on her recovery is insane. It's why the most pertinent thing to do is something that Maypul is best at, with how well her active nair is, Maypul's active nair is. You have to keep Clairen away from the wall as much as possible by any means necessary. Because if Clairen can get to the wall, Clairen typically can make it back to the ledge. So swat away from the wall and keep swatting away from the wall as long as possible. Changing up the bans are Ethereal Forest and Air Armada. Going right back to going game 2 Godai Delta, learning from the previous set. no way are we getting to Fire Capital.
Too much space. You want some space, but not too much. And Godai Delta is the perfect way to kind of go from there. The happy medium in between. A Searing Arrow had some nice life moments in that game number 1 of the second set. It just seemed to be that the Arbar was just able to just kind of clutch it out, get that advantage state rolling, and those spikes sent the message down, especially in that first stock.
Dash dancing around. A couple of pace breaker dash attacks are into play here. Playing on this platform, trying to slow the game down. But trying to jump too much still leaves you with establishing habits. And establishing habits is exactly what Arbar is looking for. What any rushdown character is looking for. Pick out a defensive habit and punish brutally for it.
Zoinks. And it seems to be just getting worse. Great down tilt and an excellent forward strong to send that message home. Takes stock number 1 with ease. Still ate a good amount of damage, however, so Searing Arrow's not out of the woods just yet. And with the Mistress of Plants in the favor right there, it's going to be a very difficult task to find some way. But the forward tilt, once again, it's been such a strong move. Ridiculous in favor of Arbar. But thankfully, no marker Ubel, so no death.
Yeah, as long as there's... Well,
Until, you know.
Yeah. Forward tilt can do it by itself, but, you know, forward tilt, tether nair, that's the goo. Any card gamers in play? Anyone? No?
Oh, Belatra, right?
That counts. I'll give it up.
Oh, man.
Look at this. Just complete shutdown of a long-standing neutral. And hey, if we're playing a slow game, tipper down tilt stops all of that and then some. It's a perfect reason, quote unquote, to play Clairen. Like having access to tipper down tilt as a neutral tool transforms the gameplay for any character and any player that likes to play grounded. And we're hunting for them.
And especially from how many times they've been, you know, dashing back and forth, leaves just so vulnerable. Great crouch cancel comes just in time, and an excellent tipper with the sword to the skies, and it will cash out that stock. Excellently done by Searing Arrow.
Tipper up strong, starting to really hunt for him, and Searing Arrow doing a good job of adapting some of their punish games, some of their punish combos, and the flow charts that they have been going for. Hey, optimizing that is everything in this game right now, because you cannot always risk that you're gonna get another chance and you're gonna get another starter.
Ooh. Tipper lands, and the cross up with the up tilt, forcing, you know, Arbar to kind of quickly recognize it, but it's not in time. Got to get away with a free hit on that shield. Great usage of the get up attack, taking a page out of Arbar's book, or Maypul's book, I should be saying, but an excellent call out on the roll back, and a nice little back air. Oh, and Lily with the team up slam dunk.
And the buffer jump guaranteeing that Searing Arrow can't make it back. 94% is a fair bit, but not impossible to come back from. Especially with these stray nairs confirming into stray up airs, 61% in the blink of an eye here, Wolf. And yeah, non-committal. You can let your shield deteriorate all you want. We are chilling here, letting the game play out in slow, methodical fashion, barely missing that forward air, but we're trading. Both take it back.
It's so good. And here it comes, missing the timer, unfortunately, and that's not safe. You got to be so damn careful of it. Essentially, both of them treating that gets the last hit, which you should at this point. A forward tilt at this percent can lead to a disaster. And my goodness, what a way to cling onto their great DI by Arbar, knowing that the back throw was going to be a setup for the forward strong, but the tipper does land, but no follow-up afterwards, just going to be a dash away. Probably not aware, probably not ready for it. But those moments are way and few. As the seed connects as well, the marker still in effect. A dash attack does connect. Stuck on ledge, but missing the timer once again, Ubel.
Yeah, it's getting slower and steadier. Arbar is whittling away at this lead into a pure advantage. Meanwhile, Searing Arrow is still hunting for the desperate play. We've seen counters, we've seen forward strongs, we've seen dash attacks, but a down air could seal the fate. Oh, the forward strong almost connecting on the outstretched arm of the forward tilt. Last hit games are typically quite devastating, but Maypul needs the mark in order to surely put on the threat. Doesn't even need it there, finds the dash attack up air just barely in the percent window for that to still confirm. Clairen, that air acceleration nerve continuing eternally will rear its head against her every time, because anytime you think, oh man, at this high percent I can drift away, not anymore. And hey, that's just Arbar playing a last stock game beautifully, knowing what hits you can and can't take, knowing that Searing Arrow was getting plenty desperate for that final blow, and that puts Arbar up 2-0. Searing Arrow back against the wall, and on game 3, with that back against the wall, it's time for the rock wall.
Rock wall, literally a mirror of the first set. Rock wall was selected as a nice little gambit to try to say, hey, I haven't been able to take a game in this set, I'm going to go ahead and play on this one. So all of a sudden, it's a repeat of history. Searing Arrow trying to make this one happen, but Arbar making a statement so far in both of those sets. But I think the number one thing that changes about it is that the first 2 games in the first set were just not close. But in the second set, they were nail-biting finishes.
Yeah, the completely different level that these two are on now in terms of the game between each other. Like, they are still hunting for all that information, and Arbar has got just as much, if not more, than Searing Arrow, as almost able to find a couple of confirms, but the third time is the charm. You missed the down strong, didn't close out the stock. Oh, the Lily confirmed didn't. Well, don't worry. I've got Nair, Tether, Nair to end things off. And Arbar playing with a renewed sense of momentum, renewed sense of presence, but that renewed sense of offensive mindset might be biting him in the butt. Absolutely did in that interaction. Forward strong at ledge. It's just too good of a timing play to take out of your kit too much.
Thankfully, stopped the bleeding so much, but I'm loving this change of pace by Arbar. Just saying, hey, I'm gonna sit back, throw these seeds at you for this little bit of chip damage, but look at this ladder sequence that leads to death in a blink of an eye. Searing Arrow got sent flying up into the stratosphere. And a nice little death, Lily coming in with the assist once again, but Arbar seems to be playing on a different level on this counterpick, saying, I know exactly what you want, Searing Arrow, and I'm not going to let it happen.
First time that the rock wall platforms bit Searing Arrow in the butt is when it's the time you really need it. Grand Finals reset. Very unfortunate. Far from out of it. Again, Clairen's on hit game can go toe-to-toe with anybody, but we're starting to really get to desperate times and desperate measures mode. Back air. Oh, wanted the invincible Nair, but doesn't find it. Yet the grab to ledge for too long. Arbar in full control. Down strong is going to end the set, reading the tech roll out. And Arbar, after a nail-biting Game 5 Grand Finals, was able to hold things together, clutch it out, and take that clutch win into the reset. Excellently done. Not getting reverse 3-0'd and making sure that they're not going to let a reset of Grand Finals go to waste. 8 games, 8 well-played games, but Arbar walks with it.